Good afternoon and welcome back to another ironic introduction to another video. I have here what I'm calling a cap video on Maestro. It's actually 9%. I did hit the cap off screen. I just wasn't recording at the time. And so I tried to get it again while recording, and I got two 9% coming ahead for you. Two kind of different ways I took the fight. So in both fights, I'm holding block immediately after ending my combo. The goal being that I don't want him to throw his SP1. It's much easier to dex the SP2. I can dex the SP1, it's just not ideal. And in a lot of situations, you'll see I'll even opt to phase for it just to be on the safe side. And because I didn't have any assault charges, it isn't really an issue as far as damage is concerned because Kitty Pryde, with all the prowesses and the tactician buff, builds up so quickly. You can see there's a mistake there. But in the end, the biggest goal is using Kitty's phasing gain prowess effects on his SP1 to get a ton of additional prowesses for some big hitting numbers. You can see I'm getting 168, 281k crits, and so I'm getting a lot of extra damage just off of those prowesses, and I'm also using the node benefit of ending my combos with 5 hits in order to get the plus 45% prowess as well. And you can see here, I opted for safety because what I'm trying to do here is build up to an SP3. I'm not expecting a lot of additional damage from the SP3, so really it's just to help ramp up my prowess damage for my SP2. And so what I was doing in this fight was, this is before I felt really confident in it, is I threw my SP2 for guaranteed damage, and then I decided to go for an SP3, SP2 rotation to try and see if I could push cap. Gonna get a nice SP2 dex here, because if I get the SP3 into the SP2, it's so much additional damage. It really just makes one SP2, maybe an SP1, and then that's the cap with Kitty Pryde. Sometimes it's an SP3, 2 SP2s. It kind of depends on how many prowesses you're able to keep up, how often you're phasing the SP1 and dropping that damage. It's also really nice to have that unblockable for this just huge crit, almost 1 million per hit. I'm going to go in, and I think I misdex the SP1 here eventually, and that's how I end up dying. Oh no, I apologize. This is the part that always gets me. So I need to take him down before that happens because I don't really know how to dodge that last hit. I just have the timing wrong, and I end up dying to block damage. So that's my bad. I wasn't prepared for the pierce. And boop, boop, boom. Let me unplug this real quick. I'm going to showcase one more video here where same thing, I'm going to jump in under the same ideology, no assault charges going in because I'm literally just reviving and going back in. He is at 11% in this video, so even if I got the 10%, he wouldn't be able to be taken down. But overall, it's a pretty simple fight. I think I definitely feel like with enough practice, I could take this guy down probably in about 11 or 12 revives. I did most of the carrying on this Maestro just because he is a hard fight. It took me about 18 revives to get him down, including the 2 that they give you for a gold. 4. I used all 4 of those, and then 14 additional revives and potions. But this time, at this point, I've realized that it's not worth going for that SP2 because I'm going to time out and then end up essentially dying to the forced route. So I'm going to go straight for the SP3 using the same tactic of building him up to an SP2 until I get to my SP3. And this time, I do believe I ramp him up so that I can dodge the lasers and get that huge prowess stack. You see I've got 25 right now. I'm going to dodge in, and I go all the way up to 34 for this SP3. Now, it's not as valuable for the SP3, but because I was going for that 10%, I wanted to kind of be max damage for all of my hits. But it's really valuable for that SP2, which is how you really want to time it. So I'm going to use my relic here to push him. Oh, I guess not. I guess I decided to dex this one. Apologies. I'm going to use my relic somewhere. Can you tell I did these fights a minute ago? I had to work in between these to push him to an SP2. There we go. And this is going to allow me to kind of properly build up my prowesses off of major crits, also get a nice dodge in, and now I'm going to push him to an SP1 so that I can get some big damage off of an SP2. and I'm going to dash in and throw my SP2. I've got 30 prowesses, and this does most of the damage to him. From this point, I think I end up failing to dex an SP1 somewhere. I thought this was going to push him to cap, and it just ended up not. So I'm getting really greedy because I know he's right there. He's right at that 1%, half a percent, somewhere close, and I just can't quite get it at the end here. I just failed to clutch, unfortunately. But still, 9% is a solid push. I'm very proud of overall those end numbers. You can see it's like 9.5 because I got him from I think 11 to 1. And then I died to the root. So overall, really good. If I hadn't been greedy, I think trying to push it on an SP1, I would have gotten there off of an SP2. But that is how you do Kitty Pryde. I do think Kitty Pryde is probably one of the best options for Maestro, just because of the benefits of the prowess and not relying on your team. Hopefully this helps y'all out. Good luck.